Just so you guys know, from now on, this podcast will be nothing but me just sitting here going, gang, 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 gang. Yummy ice cream. Strong woman. Strong woman. Thank you. Thank you, Keith. Thank you, Anonymous. Thank you. Gang, gang. Strong woman. If 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 you don't know the abomination I'm talking about, well, let's just get right into it. Welcome everybody back to Not Rich Just Bored, episode number 81. Oh God, where do I even begin on this shit? Like I don't even know what to do anymore. Honestly, I I don't know what's going on in anywhere. I don't know what's going on in the world in general. There's this person, like it's been memed to death lately. I've seen all the memes popping up everywhere, and I never understood what it was. I thought it was like a joke, and part of it was like just I don't even know. I just thought it was somebody joking, but apparently it's a trend. It's a trend on TikTok called NPC, like doing NPC TikToks. And I guess for those of you, I feel like I have to burp. For those of you not in the know-how for like video games, NPC stands for non-player character, which is, typically like a background character. So the idea of these TikToks, or they do live streams, it looks like little live like when you go Facebook live, but I'm guessing I'm not on TikTok, as you guys know. Sorry, but I'm not down on that Chinese spyware. Robert Kennedy Jr. told me not to. But seriously, I'm not on TikTok, so I don't know. But obviously TikTok, she's only on TikTok, this lady. Her name's Pink Doll, and it's yeah, it's just she goes on these live streams and just literally stands there and says the same combination of things over and over. And I don't know if it's prompted, like I see in the video. If you watch the video, it's fucked, but people are like giving roses and stuff. I don't get it. It must be like bits or something on Twitch. I really don't know how it pans out, but like it's just literally people will say things and then she'll just say like gang gang, gang gang. Yes, strong woman. Strong woman. Like says nothing coherent at all. And it really makes no sense to me. It's obviously it has something to do with like ASMR. Like, because people watch videos of people eating pickles. It's fucking weird, but I mean, that's the world we're living in these days, I guess. But with her, it's like she acts like an NPC, and that's kind of the trend. And I guess she's not the only one. There's a couple other people. I think she's actually Canadian, unfortunately. Sorry, guys. We lost another one. But yeah, Montreal, I think. But anyway, she just does these videos and she just like makes random noises, clicks her nails, clicks her mouth, says the same thing, and like I'm like, okay, I get it. It's a meme or whatever the fuck's going on here. But then I look into it more, and she literally makes thousands of dollars a day. And every fucking day, I just think we are straying closer and closer from God. Not God in particular, guys, but like I just mean from righteousness and anything good. It's just the world doesn't make sense to me. There's a financial crisis. We're all fucked for money. All the average people like me we're strapped. We're working our fucking 9 to 5s. We're busting our asses, breaking our backs, some of us, and being in utter and complete pain for fucking pennies on a dollar. And everything's so expensive. And then you get dipshits like this that make thousands. I said thousands. If it's thousands, that could be, upwards of 2,000. So she makes more than I make on a paycheck in a day doing fucking nonsense, doing weird nonsense. And I don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me. I don't like, there's so many memes. Like, there's the one I saw that's the best is like Matthew McConaughey in Interstellar, where he's like crying and the he's watching the video of them at home, but it's like it's her gang video. And then he's just like starts like watching what the fuck, and it's like it's millennials wondering what the fuck Gen Z's up to. And I'm like, that is totally relatable, because we I literally do not know what the fuck is going on. People are making this content, and obviously, like, I'm not gonna lie, there's obviously the sexual aspect of it, because she's got her big tits out, and you know obviously she's a pretty girl. That's what happens, right? They go on there. That's half of fucking TikTok, is just guys being retarded simps. And sorry I used the R word, but that's what they are. And that's all it is just guys that just literally can't help themselves. They're just, I don't know, not stoic enough like me. Not a fucking alpha chad like me. They gotta sit there and simp on girls on the internet. Come on. You gotta be a man. You gotta simp on girls in real life. Go up to them in person. Get a couple pies in your face. Then come talk to me. That's when you know you're a real man. Unless you're in a happy relationship like me. I don't do that anymore. But when I did have to approach women, I just did it face to face. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. There's a few times, you get drunk and you get on the old texty. We've all sent a couple of those messages in our time. The old "Hey, you up" at 2 a.m. I think that's very relatable to everybody. I mean, especially when alcohol's involved. It's like that song goes, "Last night we let the liquor talk." Who's that guy? I can't remember. We got to talk about another country song later, but we'll get into that later. Something, maybe something called "Try That in a Small Town." Oh, fucking triggered the liberals already. You guys are gone? See you later. Anyways, back to Pink Doll. It just really, it's utterly, there's moments where I wonder, am I just I did YouTube for a lot of years, and it never really took off for me, which is fine. You can't expect it. It's such a fucking it's a hard market to break into. Even when I did it, like when I did it, it was hard to break into. Now it's like almost impossible. Like, everything's so crazy, but it's not impossible, because we're gonna go to the stars with this channel, boys. Well, if you're listening on Spotify, come to the YouTube channel. Come take a visit. There's other content to view, not just a podcast. We do other shit too. I mean, we have it in like a week or like 4 weeks rather, but I got some stuff coming down the pipe. I'm always working. But yeah, it's just, it's so hard to break into this stuff, and it's easy to see somebody like me who's been doing it, like a decade or better, doing content creation, as just a bitter old man, because I'm in my 30s now, and I started in my 20s, and it could see people like me just being bitter about this stuff for sure. But for me, it's not even a bitter thing. I mean, it slightly is. We're not gonna lie. I think everybody's a little bitter. I mean, we've all seen the memes where it's like there's always a clown meme. Sorry, I gotta click off the recording. There's always those clown memes where it's like me going to a guy in a clown outfit or makeup. And it's like me going to work my 9 to 5 while an 8-year-old is making is making $16 million a day on the internet, or $16 million a month on the internet. It's like, it's a meme at this point, right? Like, content creation is fucking massive, and it's really crazy how much money you can make. But like, the thing is, I've always been a supporter of the YouTube community. I always have been. Like, content creators, like the old guys I used to watch, like PewDiePie, Jacksepticeye, Markiplier, any of those guys. It's, I always figured they deserved what they got, because it was ultimately, even though some of it was easy content to produce, it was still hard work to produce it. It takes time and effort, and obviously they have good personalities, and that's why it took off. And good for them. I am happy for them, and I've always been supporters of them. I think it. And even though I don't really watch them anymore, I still support them. Like, they're still giving her. That's good, and I think it's content creation. You do deserve a monetary reward because A, it's not as easy as everybody thinks. It just isn't. And B, just I think about how much hours I invested in those guys. Like, think about a movie. You watch a movie and there's big production, blah, blah, blah. It's 2 hours, 2.5 hours, hour and a half, whatever it is. And then it's done. You might rewatch it, whatever. That's fine. But the people that work on that movie get paid, except for the writers, apparently, they get paid an exorbitant amount of money. Meanwhile, these YouTube videos, back in the day, I probably watched 1,000 hours of Markiplier easily. Easily. He was my favorite back in the day. It's probably more than that. But well, it's not more than thousands, but it's more than 1,000 probably. Like, I watched so many of his videos. So the amount of traffic that alone produced and entertainment for me, the amount of time that took to entertain me, it's got to be worth something. And obviously there's a market for that because I kept coming back. I enjoyed the content. But when it comes to this new stuff, it's hard for me to see it. It's hard for me to support it because it just doesn't make any good sense to me. It's literally people being insane on the internet. And again, obviously there's a sexual aspect of it. Some people probably just watch to look at her body and whatever, That's still weird, but I get it. But it's really strange to see people that are busting their ass. Even some smaller YouTubers, that I know, like a speedrunner that I really enjoy is Speedy Deep. I really hope to invite him on the podcast soon when I'm ready for more guests. I really do want to invite him, and I hope he accepts my invite. That'd be cool. But, he's a smaller content creator / speedrunner, and I just feel like he deserves a lot more views than he gets. And, there's care and effort put into his videos, but there's also care and effort put into just his, speed running. Like, it takes time to develop that skill. But then you get these just weirdos and they just do this nonsense content and they make thousands of dollars. And it's hard to justify that to me. Obviously, it's all through the algorithm. Obviously, people are consuming it. There's a reason it's successful because people are consuming it. But I can't help but be the bitter old man and ask why. Why? And maybe it's like, my dad never really understood watching people play games. And, even some people in my friend group really never understood it because they're like, well, why don't you just play video games? Why do you watch them? It's like, well, it was weird because we did play video games, but also sometimes it's fun to watch other people play video games. It's just kind of how YouTube was. Gaming was huge, and I don't know what to tell you. It's just because you watch people play video games doesn't mean you don't play them yourself. But there's always going to be that generational gap where people don't really get it. They don't really get how things have changed. And maybe that's what this is. Maybe this is just the content that the new generation craves or wants, but it's like, to me at this point, it's just weird. The TikTok dancing and stuff, I get it because it's aesthetic and lip syncing. Like, it's not for me, but I understand the appeal because people like dancing and people like doing dances and hopping on trends. So it kind of makes sense to me. Again, not my cup of tea, but whatever. But this NPC content, it's like, I actually thought when I first saw her, when I first saw Pink Doll, like, I first saw it in a meme, in the Matthew McConaughey meme. And I was just like, what the fuck is this? And I looked more into it. And I actually thought it was an AI. That's what I thought it was. And it still might be. I honestly haven't looked into her history or anything because I really don't care that much. But I honestly thought it was like an AI video rendering, and it was just following on screen prompts based on what people donated or what they did. If you put like a gang or whatever in chat, then she would say that. That's what I thought it was. I thought it was like a really crazy deep fake AI of some sort, which again, it might still be that. I really don't know. And I don't have the willpower to look more into it because it's not worth my time. But yeah, I don't know. It's weird, guys. If you're interested, just literally Google pink doll. Don't apparently don't click on the top. The top result on Google is an Instagram page, and it is not the same pink doll. It's some other pink doll. It's some lewd photos, so don't go that one, but it'll be on TikTok, so I don't know. Fucking weird, guys. Don't know what's going on, but I guess the Zoomers like it. Gen Z likes it. Whatever. It's just really, like I said, it's just, fuck. It's so hard. This will be my last note on this. I promise, but it's just really hard to justify people doing like really hard works, really hard works, really hard work, like people that clean sewers and all the just backbreaking jobs, and they're getting paid fuck all, and then we got this basically AI person making thousands of dollars. Oh, it does. I don't know. I'll cry if I keep talking about it, honestly. But yeah, if you're interested in seeing the collapse of humanity, yeah, just Google pink doll. Look on TikTok. Moving on. The next thing that I was gonna I don't know how I missed this, honestly. It got brought up to me today. Well, it didn't get brought up to me. I saw it on the internet. I surfed the World Wide Web for it. Like a super boomer. I can't talk apparently. But yeah, so I guess PlayStation has been working on some sort of a handheld device. It's called Project Q. That's all they call it is Project Q in the I don't even know if they released it. I think they teased it, but it got leaked. There's more leaked images and stuff. And if you Google it and just do an image search result, it just looks like it's an 8-inch tablet. It just looks like a Nintendo Switch basically for the PlayStation though. It's like an 8-inch tablet screen, and then on each side of the screen, it looks like they sawed a DualSense 5, the PS5 controller. Looks like they sawed it in half and just put half the controller on each side of the screen like a Switch. And then it's got some wireless earbuds that come with it too. I honestly don't know, guys. It just looks weird, but from what I'm reading, there's not much info on this thing yet, and I haven't had time to really do a deep dive on it. But from what it looks like here, it's actually I thought it was a console, like a new PS Vita or whatever, PSP, but it's actually I think it's from what I've heard, it's supposed to be an accessory for your PlayStation 5. So I don't know what the fuck that means. I don't know if it's gonna mean like you can like move your games to it and then play your games anywhere in your house, or if you can play it on the go, like you download the games onto it when you're at home, and then while you're gone out and about, you can play the games you've downloaded or stream them. I really don't know. There's not much on this thing quite yet, but supposedly it's supposed to be like around $200 American, which is fucking pretty insane. But the if it is just an accessory, it's like a glorified controller with a little screen on it. But then somebody did mention to me when I was talking about it at work, they mentioned to me that, well, a DualSense 5 controller, like just a PS5 controller, the one I have on my desk right now, I play PC games on it. It's $70 alone. So this is a controller and it's got a screen on it, and you can play games on it. So if it's only $200, that's only $130 extra for the screen, and I guess you get earbuds with it. I don't know, but which to me that does make a little bit more sense when you put it that way. Because yeah, I'm like, holy fuck, yeah, controllers are expensive these days. I forgot, but I don't know. Still, it seems a little weird. I can't see it being $200 though. I honestly think it's going to be a little more because just PlayStation, uh, I don't know. They don't seem to be able to make a cheap item. They don't seem to be able to make anything like excessively cheap. And like the Switch is like quite expensive in its own right. And it's got probably worse technology. This screen, again, we don't know anything about it yet, but I don't think it's going to be a 720 screen like the OG Switch. I imagine it's going to be at least 1080, maybe 1440. Who knows? But I don't know. If it, I think I would be more excited about it if it was a standalone console. But I don't know. It might be like it might be able to. It's a PS5 accessory, but maybe you can just use it as a standalone console. I really don't know. There's not much to go. But from what I'm reading in this article, it says that it's a PS5 accessory. So to me, that would mean that you can basically play your PS5 around your house on it. And then hopefully, I would imagine you'd be able to take it out without Wi-Fi and just, play the games that you download or whatever you do, stream them. But if you stream them, you'd have to obviously have some sort of a wireless connection. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I just thought I'd mention it. But the other thing I wanted to mention about it too, and this is kind of the whole reason that I don't even give a fuck about this thing, and probably the same reason why I haven't heard of it yet, is because PlayStation doesn't have any good games. All right? Like, I'm sorry, but PlayStation really has shit the bed. I think the only series they have going for them is God of War at this point. Like, they had The Last of Us, but they kind of fucked that. I don't think we'll ever see another Last of Us game. And God of War is really fucking good, but that's it. And I'm sorry, but this isn't 2001, all right, with Halo. One game is not going to sell your fucking console. It just isn't. Things are too expensive these days. Back in the day, yes, Halo sold the Xbox. And I will be on my deathbed and I will defend that because it is so true. The amount of people, let me just take you guys back. Fuck PlayStation for a minute. We're talking Xbox. Back in the day, I remember my buddy had an Xbox. His dad bought one, and it was kind of the family console. They all were going to kind of share it and use it. And he had Halo. He bought this game, Halo Combat Evolved. And he slapped it in, and he was like, holy shit, this game is insane. It's so good. And we would go over to his place, and then he's like, you got to try this game. It's got multiplayer. It's so fun. And we'd go over there, and we'd literally play 4-player deathmatch all night. Like, from the time after school till it was like 9 o'clock till we had to walk home, 6-7 blocks across town. Like, we just played it all the time, and it was so good. Halo 1 is arguably the best Halo game. It still plays to this day. The only problem I have with it on a controller these days is that there's no controller option to do bumper jumper. And that's the only thing I have wrong with it. And that's only because bumper jumper is superior in every way. Since the Xbox 360 controller came out, bumper jumper is the only way to play Halo. I'm sorry. Fight me. The OG controls are just very clunky because you gotta lift your thumb off the thumbstick to melee people. Whereas with bumper jumper, you could jump and melee while having full range of motion with your character. So epic. But yeah, like Halo 1 really was a phenomenon. It was it was so crazy. And then I remember like that Christmas, I think it was that Christmas. It might have been a birthday. I can't remember. But I remember just begging my dad. I'm like, please, can we get an Xbox, please? And I had a GameCube at the time, and I loved my GameCube. Don't get me wrong. I loved my GameCube. And I loved all the games on it. But as soon as that Xbox came home, that was all I played. I play every from the time I got home, I played Halo, and then I went to bed, and I repeated every day. And I got so good, and then I trained up, and then I finally went back to my buddy's house more, and I said, "Listen, motherfucker, I'm a lot better than you now." And we would have sniper wars and stuff. Oh, so good. And then eventually we would like we'd bring the Xboxes over, and then we'd do a system link because you could link systems up to do 8 players. Oh, those were the days. Oh, that might have been Halo 2 actually, where we did the system link. I think. Could you do? Yeah, you could do system link on Halo 1. Yeah. Oh, so good. And I remember we had a PC at the time, a family PC, and I got Halo for the PC, and the Halo on the PC had 16 player multiplayer, and it had a flamethrower, and it had a rocket warthog, and yeah, oh yeah, it had the field rod cannon too from the Banshee. The Banshee had the field rod cannon, and then you could actually pick up the field rod cannon as a weapon. Whereas in the Xbox version, it was just I think the grunts could use it. Yeah, there was field rod grunts. They would shoot it at you, but you can never pick it up, which always sucked. But then, yeah, in the PC version, they added the flamethrower for multiplayer and then the field rod cannon. Oh, that was really fun. Playing 16 player on PC was really fun. You just don't get those experiences anymore. It's actually crazy. It's like that office quote where it's like, I wish we knew that we were in the good times before the good times were gone. Yeah. I was actually reminiscing earlier today about that and about how like just going into like not having the internet. Like we had the internet. Don't get me wrong. We had it. But it wasn't the same. It was different. So we still had our old sensibilities of games and our sense of wonder. So we'd go out and find video games at the store. Like going to the store with your mom if she was going grocery shopping was kind of exciting because she'd go and get Bumblebee tuna or whatever she was getting, and we would stop in the game section, and it was just a smorgasbord of just a bunch of games, and you're always checking out the art, you're checking out what games you think are cool. And I always liked looking through. It was Zellers, if you guys remember Zellers in Canada, shout out. But Zellers would have these little discount bins all the time, and then there would be a bunch of big box PC games. And like looking back now, I wish I would have gotten more of them because I love collecting big box PC games. They're very aesthetically pleasing to me. But I do have quite a few of them. I remember picking up like what was it, like one that was totally random. It was like Disciple 2, Rise of the Elves. I think it was Disciple 2. I don't know. I'd have to look at it. It was like a totally random game, and we're like, "Oh, this kind of looks cool," and we bought it. It was like $10, I think. And you take a game home, and if it sucked, it sucked. If it didn't, it didn't. That's just kind of the way it was. But I also remember there was when I got at Zeller's was Dungeon Keeper. I got Dungeon Keeper 1 and 2, and that game is like Dungeon Keeper is one of my favorite. I love that game so goddamn much. It's amazing. And oh, excuse me. And I remember specifically I got the 2-pack. It was number 1 and 2 together. But number 2, I don't know. I honestly, looking back now as an adult, I don't know what happened. I remember at times saying that the disc had a virus on it or something. Because when I put it in, they would say something about an executable file or something was corrupt, and it would say an exe thing. And back in the day, a lot of like executable files like that were kind of, it was like a a virus thing, but I don't know. I could just be misremembering what I remember, but I just remember it wouldn't actually boot up. It booted up once, and then I played like the first couple levels, and it was really awesome. And then after that, it never booted up again. And the disc wasn't scratched. That's back when we had to use discs. I know, fucking caveman over here, but yeah, the disc wasn't scratched. I don't know. I can't, like I said, if I looked at it today with my eyes today, I could probably figure out what was going on wrong. But at the time, it just wouldn't work. Couldn't get it to work. But I played the hell out of the first one though. And yeah, the first Dungeon Keeper was really good. Actually, if you guys are fans of Dungeon Keeper, it's literally where you play bad guys. Like you play like the forces of like hell, essentially, like a demon, and you control your minions to attack the good guys. So it's kind of a you get to play as the bad guy scenario, and you just build a dungeon and control your minions and fight the good guys like the dwarves and the humans, and it's kind of what you did. It was cool. If you are interested in it and you don't want to buy the old ones off GOG or something, you can get the new. It's not a new one. It's a spiritual successor, we'll say. It's called War for the Overworld, and it's literally Dungeon Keeper. It's just not the Dungeon Keeper name, but it's the same exact concept with some quality of life improvements, and I highly recommend it. It's got a couple expansions too. It's really good. So I do recommend that game to anybody who is a fan of Dungeon Keeper or knows what it is. Go go play War for the Overworld. It's really good. But anyways, that's enough of me reminiscing. Halo was awesome. Halo definitely sold the Xbox. No doubt in my mind. There were other good games after. Like Doom 3 was huge on the Xbox. Doom 3 was awesome. And like Mech Assault, not Mech Warrior. It's called Mech Assault 1 and 2. Those were so good. Uh what was it? Splinter Cell, really good. I was also talking about earlier how I really wanted to see an HD remaster. You guys might not know this game, but I've been saying that they need to make an HD remaster of Blackthorn. Now that's a game that's classic. I always remember that game so fondly. It was made by a little known company at the time. You guys might know them, Blizzard Entertainment. At that time, they were just called Blizzard, but yeah, it was on. I just learned this today actually that there was actually a Sega 32X version of this game. I'm gonna have to look into that because apparently it was better and it had more levels, but it was literally a side-scrolling game, and it's funny because Blizzard, the bad guys are orcs, which is hilarious because it's like Blizzard can't make anything without orcs in it. But yeah, you literally play a guy with a shotgun. Kind of looks like he's got long hair. His name is Kyle, I think. But yeah, he's literally got long hair, slightly like I always got like a Bruce Campbell vibe off of him, just because like from Army of Darkness, because he's got like the shotgun and the jeans and stuff. And but it was like a 2D side scroller with like a 2.5D, like a I don't know what you call a depth of field, but it was a cover system, so you could hide from your enemies by hiding in the background, and then you would kind of dodge them with their pattern, and then poke out and shoot them with your shotgun. And you had infinite ammo, and the further you got in the game, the more upgrades you got, so you got to shoot faster, and it was a really great game. I highly recommend looking into it, and I wish Blizzard would do a re-release. There was apparently a Blizzard arcade collection type thing or something, I don't know, but that got released, and apparently Blackthorn was on it, but it wasn't like upscaled or anything. It was just a port. So, but I'm gonna have to look into the Sega 32X version because apparently it's really cool too. So, I might look up a video after the podcast here, see what's going on there. But yeah, other than that, the last thing I want to talk about today, to finish up to go back to the PS5 thing, we really don't have any more information, so I can't really make a proper assessment of that. Might be good, might be bad. I guess we'll see in the future. Again, doesn't really affect me because I don't really console game anymore, except for my Switch. But even the Switch, I don't really play that much. except for Tears of the Kingdom, which I still love and I'm still playing. But I digress. The last thing on the docket for today that I want to talk about. Oh, let me get the right window open. Was the yeah, and I'm just gonna cover this quick because I really don't have much to say on this. But there's obviously there's this new song out by Jason Aldean called "Try That in a Small Town." Now it came out on May 22nd, so it was released a while ago. So why are people talking about it now? It's Jason Aldean. He's a pretty country music superstar. He's huge, and he releases new music all the time. So why is this one a big deal? Why are people talking about it now? Especially because it was released months ago. Well, the video just came out. When was it? Oh, when the hell did it come out? Oh, July 14th. Yeah. So pretty recently, just mid this month. Oh my God, my notifications bar keeps fucking up. Get out of here. But yeah, it came out middle of this month. So why are people pissed about it now? They're pissed about it because the video came out, and in the video, there's, I guess what they're saying is that they use some video clips from like the Black Lives Matter protests and something about like the place where he filmed it, people were lynched there or something. But Jason Aldean has apparently confirmed to a few sources that he didn't pick the filming location because people were lynched there. He had no idea about that. But it was just probably a place that he filmed it just because it was probably a place that looked country. I mean, he's a country guy. What do you want? But yeah, like Aldean was on. He posted on social media saying, "In the past 24 hours, I've been accused of releasing a pro-lynching song, a song that has been out since May, in parentheses, and was subject to the comparison that I was not too pleased with the nationwide BLM protests. These references are not only meritless but dangerous. There is not a single lyric in the song that references race or points to it, and there isn't a single video clip that isn't real news footage. And while I can try and respect others to have their own interpretation of a song with music, this one goes too far." So basically, yeah. So basically he's saying like, no, I wasn't supporting lynchings, and B, I used actual news footage. Like, I guess they think he doctored news footage for the video, which just isn't true. But look, here's the thing. Ugh, sorry, I have to wipe my eyes because I'm just fucking frustrated with the world. I'm a Midwestern guy, all right? I grew up in Midwestern Canada, through and through, conservative values, that kind of thing. So maybe I'm biased. Maybe I am. Who knows? But the thing is, I'm not even a big country fan. I know a lot of classic country, but country in general is not a genre that I typically listen to. But this song in particular, I had to listen to because I want to know what the big deal was. And it turns out that the big deal is more with the video, which is stupid because he used real news footage. It wasn't fake. It was real news footage of people burning down businesses. Their fucking skin color or whatnot does not matter. The whole point of the song, from what I gather, is it's talking about small towns. Now, I grew up in a small town, and I'm not singing a country song right now. I'm just telling you, I literally grew up in a small town. Some of the listeners of this podcast that I know, I grew up same town, and they know as well as I do that there's a different vibe in small towns. It's like, to me, I would say it's better. It's and basically the song is talking about how in small towns everybody knows everybody, and people are typically nicer because of that. And they usually have each other's back because everybody knows each other, because it's a more close knit community, we'll say. And a lot of the song to me is pointing out the fact that in big cities, LA especially, where all this riots are going on and people getting crazy, what he's trying to say is that wouldn't happen in a small town. People wouldn't be burning down businesses like that. People wouldn't be trying to mug the old lady on the street. Now, I mean, I'm sure this happens in a small town. I'm sure it has happened at some point. But the point of the song is saying that it typically doesn't happen in small towns. And I think ultimately he wants people to realize that I think we could all take something from small town values. And personally, I agree with that too. I really do. I, you know, I'm recently, um, I recently started dating somebody from my hometown, actually. So I've been spending a lot more time in my hometown. And, it's just, it really does make me realize how much time I've been spending in the city and how I've kind of gotten desensitized to a basic human, like decent human interaction. There's countless homeless people in the city. There's countless, people who couldn't give a fuck about you. They'd sooner walk over you than help you up. And, you know, in in my hometown, it's not like that. I typically on the highway and stuff, I always wave at everybody. I'm always try to be kind and courteous. It's just kind of who I am. It's literally a reflex at this point. But, when I'm back in my hometown, I wave at people and they wave back. Almost all of them. And usually they'll wave more enthusiastically because maybe they know me. But it's just it's a whole different thing. It's a whole different vibe. And I think that a lot of people have lost that in cities. They start to view people and, especially people that aren't in their immediate friend group or family, they start to view them as a problem because there's so many of them. So they see everybody else as an issue or a problem or an inconvenience or, like there's too much traffic, there's too many people in traffic, there's too many guys at the shopping mall, there's too many people at the Starbucks. Where when as at the very base level of humanity, we need each other. We we need communities. We need people to come together. One guy can't build a city. One guy can't run a city. We need each other. But yeah, in a big city, it becomes more inconvenient because there's so many people. But I think people would find if they went to a smaller community, and I'm not saying you have to, I get the convenience of cities, for sure I do. But I'm saying, even if you just, yeah, take a little vacation or something. It works at the lake too. If you go out where there's just not as many people, you appreciate the people more. And I think that's a good thing. So if I'm gonna leave you guys off with anything today, just I'm just gonna leave you off and say that like there's nothing wrong with this song. Again, it's not really my cup of tea as much because I'm not really a big country guy, but as far as offensive lyrics or anything, it's pretty standard country music lyrics. And I don't think he's trying to be racist with the video. I think it's all just being looked into too much. Because that's what people do these days. They just blow everything out of proportion. When everybody could just, you know, take a minute and breathe. Sit back. Try to appreciate the people around you. Because ultimately, like I said before, we need each other. We do. If I was the last person alive, I'd be fucked. I'd probably just kill myself because I'd no. I need people. I like human interaction. Positive human interaction. Negative, not so much, but the thing is, the negative usually stems from being too many. There's too many humans because you're crammed into a tight city, right? But check out a smaller community once in a while. I think you'll find that people are a lot more friendlier. So, like always, guys, thank you so much for listening. Links to all social media are in the description below. And I will see you next week. Bye, guys.